Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at how to hatch a drawing. So we will start with a simple example. So under this topic we are going to look at these areas. So we are going to start with a simple object and we'll try to hatch the simple object. I'm going to draw a close diagram. Now hatch commands are lying here. So we have hatch, we have gradient, we have boundary. So we look at all these three areas. So I'm going to start with the normal hatch tool. So when I click the button, it says pick internal point or select object. So hatch pattern is defined here. So the ribbon changes and you can select the pattern from this palette. So normally, say if I want to hatch steel patterns are available in the software. So this is steel, very common pattern, and we have the concrete somewhere in the middle, and brick is there, sand is available, stone available, material available, likewise honeycombs are available, gravel available, then there is concrete. This is concrete, so concrete is also available. So we'll take the very common one, steel, and try to hatch it. Now hatch pattern was selected. Then if I just click here, it will be hatch. Now this hatch is not clearly visible. So in order to make it visible, say this is not clear. I'll close this. Now when I zoom it, I can see the pattern, but this is not really good. So if you want to have a clear pattern, just delete this and we'll redo it. Steel is selected. Now there are concepts called hatch angle and hatch scale. So when you increase the hatch scale, say to 2, now your pattern is somewhat good, better, it's visible. Now say 3. Now hatch angle is automatically defined by the hatch pattern. Now this is 45 degrees. Normally steel hatch angle is 45 degrees. So if you apply, say, now this is 0. This is with respect to the hatch angle. Define hatch angle, default hatch angle. Now if you just give it a 45 here, 45, then this steel hatch angle with respect to east is 90 degrees. So you understand, I hope you understand the concept. Default angle is with respect to east is 45, so but here it says 0, and we have the hatch transparency. We can adjust the transparency level, and we can apply a color to the hatch. Line types, so background color can be changed, hatch color can be changed. So we'll just apply this. This is associative hatch. What is the meaning of associative? Is when I apply this and press close button, if I just try to change this, uh, now this is not working with, because this is a normal line. Say I'll just apply the polyline tool. Normal lines it won't work. I apply polylines and try to hatch it again. Done. Close. Associative. Now when I try to change the boundaries, hatch automatically follows. You can see it follows. But here this is drawn from normal lines, it won't follow, doesn't have any association. So now if you want to take the hatch out of the boundaries, you can just drag it and put it outside like this. So it won't have a boundary now. So but there is no association. So you can see there is no association between these two now. Now we look at how to apply the hatch in other ways. So this is the simplest case. So describe some of the settings here. The important setting is this: selecting the hatch pattern, then selecting the hatch scale and the angle. Angle normally we keep 0. Scale is important. If you want, you can have a different layer for the hatches, or you can color this hatch from here even. No issues with that. And associative is important if you want to change the parent object. Annotative also we have discussed in the dimension style. What is annotative? I'll tell you what is meant by set origin and other things. Max properties also we already know about the tool. Now, if you use another method, say there was another method when I started the hatch tool called select objects. Now, when I start the hatch tool, says I automatically pick the internal points. This is they are going to automatically select the boundaries, but there's another tool called select objects. Now you can select these lines one by one. Now it tries to hatch that corresponding area, and after you select everything, we'll try to identify the close object and try to hatch. So this is another method of doing this. Uh, now we look at more settings here. This is kind of old AutoCAD interface, so I will show you this interface also later. Now if you have this kind of several objects, what happens? Now if you have a rectangle and a circle, now if I try to hatch it, it says pick internal points. Now if I select pick internal points, this will be the result. But if you select the select object method, this is the result. So he is not going to omit this area. Automatically it will hatch the entire thing. So this pick internal points, you can actually pick the areas and hatch, but select object method will not work that way. It will not identify the inside circle automatically. So if I have more internal objects, I'll just do this. I'll try to do another shape like this circle, and I'm going to hatch now. Say pick internal point, you will see it's nicely working this way. But if you want to hatch this middle one, you manually you can come here and select that area, or else there are settings for that. There's a setting called island detection. So it says outer island detection, but if you select the normal island detection, it will select the internal area also. Now for an example, I'll undo this. If you have more objects, now if you want to hatch this first one, third one, fifth one only, so we can do it quickly. So that is called island detections in AutoCAD. So if I show you in my theory note, this is the concept. So if you select the normal island detection method, it will hatch the first area, it will omit the second area, third area, fourth area, and it will hatch the fifth area. If you select outer area, outer tool, it will only hatch the outer tool. If you ignore it, it will just hatch the entire object. So if I just do it and show you, now it will work with the pick internal point tool. Now it will only hatch the outer area, but if you come here and change the settings to normal, and now just come here and hover, will hatch it first one, third one, and the fifth one. So here if you look at this ignore thing, we hatch everything. So quickly we can do our designs if you know these small tools available here. So it's very handy, very quick. Now we look at another method. Suppose Now this is also another one. You have to have a close boundary. So if you don't have a close boundary and if you try to hatch it, you see it's giving us a warning. Say now I have this kind of object and I'm trying to hatch it. So we can select the pick internal point method, and it says the close boundary cannot be determined. So you have to have a close boundary. If you just select a select object method and try to do it, it will hatch some area, it won't hatch again. In some versions, if I can remember, he is trying to hatch some areas, but it will not going to work here in this new version. So it's not going to work. And suppose if you have some text inside the head, inside the bound object, like say I'm going to type some word, say one. I have typed some word. Now if I want to hash this, now pick internal point, it will automatically ignore this area. So this is the theory. So this is the fundamental concept. You cannot hash the text area. So you have to omit the text area. So this is perfectly all right, 100% correct. But if someone wants to hatch that also, now this is the result we got. But if you want to omit this text and hatch the entire object, how can we do it? So there is a simple way of doing that. I'll undo this. Now without using pick internal point, I'm going to use the select object method. You see, when I select the object method, it won't it will not identify these letters, so it will hatch to the letters. So this is a simple concept to remember. If you select pick internal point, it will omit the text. If you use the select object method, it will not omit the text, it will hatch the text as well. So it's a very simple method. You can see in my notes, it says add select object button. So here we have to use the pick internal point method. And now if you have two close hatches like this, normally we will not have same angle. We have to have two different angles in order to visualize it correctly. So I'll just draw it and show you how it works. Now I gave this angle. Now you want to have this at sorry. Now if you want to have this in the other angle, if I try to do the same command, it won't work because the such angle is set to 0 here. Now I have to turn this by 90 degrees. So come here and change it to 90 degrees. Now this is the result. But when you look at these two hatches, now you may see this is quite okay, but not good professional. Not professional because these lines are not nicely aligned. So these endpoints are not nicely aligned. So you have to create something like this. So this is the result I also received. But this is the thing we need actually. So we have to change the origin of these hatch points one by one. We'll look at how to do it now. Now we look at how to change this origin. So there's a tool called origin. When you look at the hatch settings, we had a tool called set origin. So when you click here, and if you want, you can get these origin points, several origin points. One way of doing it is you can do it manually or use these predefined origin points. Now I'll try to do it manually. Now we have a deviation here. So when you click this hatch pattern, this origin buttons appear. So there are predefined settings as I told earlier. So if you click this one, it's trying to align to the bottom left. So if I just click it here, you see it's already aligned to bottom left here. No, nothing will happen. But if you just try to select this one and try to say bottom right, will align like this, which is not what we want. So we will not get the required alignment nicely. Some are aligned, but some patterns are not aligned. So in order to get rid of this problem, we can use the manual method. So I'll just click on this without selecting the options available. I'll just go and select the nearest option and try to manually adjust it somewhere here. So it's not going to be 100% okay because I use the nearest option, or else you zoom it and try to do it again. This is quite okay. So I use the manual method because it didn't work for me, these predefined settings. So I just click on this one and try to manually use the nearest options, and if I just come here and click here, it will go to that point. So I use the manual method instead of the predefined settings available in the software. We discuss this part. Now we look at this area, tool palettes and the other settings. So I have discussed more or less this, all the important areas. Now we look at, there's another one called gradient and the boundaries, and there's another one called view tool palettes. So when you look at view tool palettes, you can find hatch tools. So these are the hatch tools. So I'll just draw some objects. Now how these tool palette works? So tool palettes have a lot of areas, so we have discussed these things in the previous lessons even. So we have predefined shapes available in the software. Using the tool palettes we can quickly import them, we don't need to draw it again. So this is the area we are going to discuss today now. So these hatch areas are available, hatch patterns are available. So if you want to use them, how can we use it? You can just drag and drop this hatch pattern to this area. You see it's not quite okay, so we come here and change the scales and other settings, and it will be visible. So this is really easy, so you can just drag and drop. So I will do it again. Just if you want to have a color, solid color, just drag and drop the color hatch. It will color the entire boundary. So this is really a quick way of doing it. So if you want to permanently dock it, just come here and dock this tool here. So it's available here. So color tools are available, so it may be faster now when you work in AutoCAD. Now we look at the gradient tool. So there's a tool called gradient. The meaning of gradient is you have a color variation. So we start with the blue and ends up in another color. So we'll just look at how it works. So we have different gradient patterns, and if you want to change the colors, now there's blue, and if I want to change it to black, can be done. So when you select the gradient, the colors are automatically selected, but if you want, you can change the colors and make as take whatever the color you like. So this is the gradient tool. So other settings are almost similar. You don't have scale tool here. Tint tool is available, a new one. Now you may wonder where is this editing box. Right, we didn't use this. Actually, this was old AutoCAD. So new AutoCAD, luckily we have the ribbon, so we don't need to go and find that box. So if you just click on the settings here, you get this traditional setting tool. So all these are available in the ribbon. So don't need, actually we don't need to go to this area. So if you expand this island detection tools, all these things which are available in the ribbon are here. So this is actually traditional classic interface of AutoCAD. So I may not go through all the settings again. It's readily available in the ribbon nowadays. Now we look at how to trim a hatch. So if you want to remove this area and take something like this, we can use the trimming tools. So I will show you how to work with the trimming tool now. I'll start from the beginning. So some lines. I'll hatch the entire internal points. It will hatch this way, this way, this way. So I just select the scale somewhat visible, say 10, say 5. Now if I use the select object method, it will select the entire area without ignoring the internal boundaries. So if someone wants to remove this area now, what can he do? He can use the trim tools and do it. Say if I just select the entire object, enter. So you can see I can quickly trim it. So what I did was I just select the entire object, apply the trim tool. This area was selected and this area can be quickly trimmed. Now we look at how to hatch. This is a different concept. This is called boundary tools. So the important thing of boundary tools are you can actually extract the information. So if you have some, say this is your um, uh, so this is, if you especially this is needed when you try to say survey land and when you try to divide the area into small land plots. So we will look at how it works in AutoCAD. I draw the same object in the slides. Now if you want to extract only this area from a certain diagram, all days people may try to trim these areas and get it, but boundary tool will be handy here. So if you look at the tool, it shows you some plot, so you can actually extract the drawings from a certain common area. So I'll try to run the boundary tool. It says pick points. So if I click here, island detection is on. If you just click on this, you see it's going to highlight this common area. And if I press enter, you see nothing happened, but it now extracted the information. So I can say use the move tool and take it out now. So this is the common area which I got from these two drawings. So this may be important. So when you have some, this is like a boolean operation, boolean AND operation. So it's taking the common intersection. So this is about the boundary tool. So that's it about the hatch tools. So you can work with our tutorials. So we will upload the answer for this question. So we are in chapter 14. You try to do this at home. Definitely there will be hatch for a final assignment. So use these notations. Try to find these notations in AutoCAD software. So it all are available. Go home and at home just try these things and see. So this is the final drawing. Try it and see this one also, especially the mechanical students. Try this and practice your AutoCAD software. So we will upload the answer for this question. So hope you understood the theory done today. So have a good day. Thank you.